How you doing, guys? Final Glide Oz here. Just doing a quick little update to answer some questions a few people have been asking me. No flying in this one, so you'll just have to wait for the next one for those guys that are out for that. So I'll try and be short and sweet. First of all, just a really big shout out to everyone that I was involved with and everyone that I met over in the Nationals. Amazing time was had by me over there and everyone else, I'm sure. Trip of a lifetime. I'll never forget it. It was amazing. I can't wait to go back and meet you all. Fantastic. Special mentions got to go to Immersion RC and Fat Shark, Anthony and Greg, 1 in a million guys. You're the reason that myself and Mark got out there in the first place. It wouldn't have happened without you guys, so thank you. Also special mentions got to go to Somaron RC Groups for designing these wonderful alien frames. They really do fly nicely and I'm happy as Larry with them. So anyway, just getting into answer a couple of questions for people about frames and stuff, so I'll just go through all of my setups. So starting on basics, I fly an FrSky Taranis radio. I switched over to that recently from a Spektrum just simply because I wanted some more range. I don't particularly like the user interface on the Taranis or the quality of the Taranis itself, especially coming from Spektrum, a better quality radio, but the receiver is fantastic, so that's the reason why I stick with it. The receiver I use is an X4R SB. When I first changed over to FrSky, I bought a D4R2 PPM receiver and was not very happy with the lag that I got through that. I could feel it straight away, each to their own, but for the type of flying I do, I didn't like the lag, and when I went to S-Bus it really improved and I was a lot happier, so S-Bus all the way for me. As far as goggles are concerned, I use my trusty Dominator V2s, really enjoy these guys, and I've also got the optional faceplate which I bought after trying some of Greg's prototypes from Fat Shark. Really impressed with it. They sit on your face so much better, and with this added fan, fogging is a thing of the past. I used it a couple of times over in Sacramento to good effect, so well worth grabbing if you've got some HDs or V2s to put them on there. You'll be a lot more comfortable. When I'm flying for long periods, when I'm out flying with friends, I use a base station which I've made up. This has just got a Immersion RC Duo in it. Also got a 2200 milliamp battery, and I've extended all the connections and switches and things like that, and I've also got a voltage readout there, so that way this can run all day, not a problem, and it helps to punch through trees and forest and that sort of stuff a little bit better than the standard system, because I can chuck a diversity setup on it. And I've got a couple of different things like Mad Mushroom helicals, I've got Spyro nets, I've got crosshairs, and I'm also more recently using this 8 dBi patch from Immersion RC, which is working extremely well and is nice and compact, so really good little thing to have. As far as quads are concerned, let's get to the part where I think a lot of people are asking questions. So this is my race quad, which is an Alien 6-inch frame from Impulse RC. Now the Alien 6-inch frame, everyone noticed that it was very different looking, quite slimline and lightweight. This frame without camera or battery is 350 grams, so very light, and I'm sure you'll all agree it was very agile around the corners and in the acceleration, and that's why I flew it. It just really handles nicely. The setup that I use on the race frame was Cobra 2204 1960 kV motors with HQ 6x4.5 carbon blend props. I normally use the glass nylon for everyday use, but for the racing I use them. Not too worried about them shattering a bit more, because if you crash you're out in the race anyway. So that's what I used instead of my normal props. Also using KISS 18 amp ESCs on here, probably pushing them a little bit hard for this setup, although I haven't killed any yet. I'd prefer to put KISS 30 amp ESCs, but I've only got one set, which is one set more than most people I know, and that went on my 5-inch Acro Freestyle quad, which I'll show you in a second. So these are all still running nice and slimline. They fit the arms nicely, lower drag and all that sort of jazz. The flight controller that I use in the race quad is called a Tornado F3. That's made by Moto in RC Groups, and he's made the Moto Wii for the Warp Quad, and is also making an F3 controller board running Clean Flight for the Warp Quad as well, and that will be coming out shortly, as will the Tornado. So the Tornado is a specific F3 flight controller for running Clean Flight, but it's specifically designed for acro flying, so it doesn't have all the barometer and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't even have any room for those chips to go on there. So what that then means is it actually comes out a fair bit cheaper that way, and there's also more space on the PCB for regular header pins. So there's no whole heap of micro JST connections and that sort of stuff, which can get fiddly. So really good board, enjoying that. That's just a prototype at the moment, but I'm sure that'll be out. I think it's be out in the next couple of weeks, possibly through through impulserc.com. So keep your eye on that. It's going to be a pretty good board. As far as F3 boards are concerned, I'm not buying F1 boards anymore because the difference in your tuning abilities with the F3 is quite noticeable. I didn't think it would be that big, but really impressed with it, and I'm going to stick with F3 boards from now on. The camera is a HS1117, I think it is, which is specifically designed to go into the alien frame. So a lot of you guys now have seen how the camera can actually adjust the angle, and designed a really novel design by Soma to get that angle, and you can also get a very decent camera angle, which is up to 35 degrees in this frame, which means that you don't need to run motor tilts, which I've never liked, because I've never liked how they changed the handling of the quad and the performance of the quad. So and each to their own, but I like to stay away from that sort of thing myself. VTX I normally use is Immersion RC 600 milliwatt VTX, and Spironet. That's my go-to package for that. As far as power distribution is concerned, there's a PDB which comes in this kit, which is a 4-ounce copper PDB board on there, so it'll take extremely high loads of power, and it's also very compact, so lightweight. The XT60 is actually soldered directly to it. If you didn't want to do that, you can always do it the old-fashioned way with a wire coming out, but I really like this technique because it means that there's no wires dangling around, and I don't actually cut wires with my props in crashes anymore, which is a really novel change to what normally happens. The frame itself, as far as durability is concerned, there's people online that are concerned about the durability of the frame. I haven't broken anything yet, and it's not from a lack of trying. I've flown this thing. I've had a head-on with Mark in another Alien, both doing about 80 kilometers an hour straight head-on, and there was no damage to the frame. I think I sheared one arm bolt and totally destroyed a Cobra motor that hit him. The magnets are all destroyed and the bells all warped out of place, but the frame itself was in perfect condition. So I've also hit metal poles, I've hit trees, I've cartwheeled it across the bitumen at high speed, and still yet to break anything. So look, if you try hard enough, you'll be able to kill anything, but I wouldn't be concerned with that. The battery I used on the race quad is a Thunder Power 70C 1300 4S pack. Huge shout out to Mr. Steele for getting me these packs. These are really awesome packs. They're certainly not cheap, but they show in their quality and their performance. Very little voltage sag, and they performed extremely well for me on the day. I can't wait to try some different sizes with that. They were very nice. Let me go and grab the next quad. My freestyle frame that I flew was the 5-inch version. So the 5-inch version is just basically a smaller version of the 6-inch. So if we get the two frames together, we put them together like that, you'll see at the top the 5-inch is quite shorter. So it's not just smaller arms. The setup itself is Cobra 2204 2300 kV motors. The KISS 30 amp prototypes I've been testing, really enjoying them, and pretty much everything else is the same, except I'm running one of Dominic's, or Mr. Clean Flight's, Seriously Pro Racing F3 boards. This is the Acro version, and Dominic was kind enough to send me out one of them, and they fly really nice. Like I said, loving the F3 boards, so if you can justify the cost, definitely go and get them. The antenna mount's worth mentioning. You can see the antenna mount's got a plate there which clamps down on a couple of tubes here, and that holds the antennas perfectly at the right angle, and I haven't had a broken antenna going through a prop since I've done this. That works really well. I guess the differences between the 5 and the 6-inch quad. The 6-inch quad also has a room where you can actually mount a servo, so you can do camera tilt on a servo. People who know me know that I like doing that. That's a really handy feature. I haven't done that yet, but I'll be doing that on my next frame. The 5-inch frame, because of size constraints, you probably won't be able to fit a servo in there. Someone might be able to if you do a certain hack and get a little bit original with your ideas, but yeah, probably not going to fit that in there. Likewise, you may not be able to fit an 1800 milliamp 4S pack and a GoPro on the same frame for the 5-inch frame. I haven't tried it. You may, but it'll be a tight squeeze. The really cool thing about this is all very modular. So the 6-inch frame, you can put 5-inch arms on it. So if you wanted to put 1800 milliamp pack in a GoPro and have the room, then you can do that, and I'm probably going to do that for a future frame. Likewise, you can put 6-inch arms on the 5-inch frame if you really wanted to. So it's all totally up to you. As far as GoPro mounts is concerned, this is the only one in existence, the 5-inch frame at this point in time, and I didn't get the chance to fiddle around with a GoPro mount, but there are a couple of different ideas with regards to the GoPro mount. This one's got a GoPro mount. It's got a separate plate which has gone on top. This was my idea, which I passed on to Soma a couple of days before I left for the Nationals. I've been trialling it and it works really well. Since then, my understanding is Soma has actually incorporated this plate design into the top plate, so you won't need a second plate. I think he's getting some of them cut out and is going to be trialing them, so we'll see what the production versions are like with regards to that. And that way you can mount the strap that way or sideways, GoPro or Mobius or a GoPro Session, which is what I'm actually recording this on. Thanks to GoPro for giving it to me as part of my winnings for the my prizes at the Drone Nationals. So that's pretty much it, I guess, in terms of questions. If you've got any other questions, just chuck them in the comments section. I'll try and answer them as best as I can and as soon as I can. These things will be available in about 4 or 5 weeks. I'm really enjoying these things, guys. I think these are the future of racing, and we're going to see more of these types of designs in the racing track to come and less of the H-Quad designs. So excited. I'm ready to go and flying now. It's my first day off since the Nationals. I literally haven't stopped. I'm going to go and enjoy an afternoon flying session now. So cheers, guys. I'll catch you later, and next video is coming out soon, I hope. See ya. Captain's log, stardate 2573. We've landed on this strange and uninhabited planet. It seems to be just completely surrounded by empty buildings. We're searching the surroundings for any signs of life, but all we can find is Mark. Captain out.